Let's speak further now with the Premier of Limpopo Province, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba. Dr. Ramathuba, good evening. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Really do appreciate it. These floods and the damage it's caused in the province are nearly unprecedented. One can very much say that the northeastern parts of South Africa were found unprepared given the nature of the weather system that is sweeping across various parts of the northeastern parts of just southern Africa, really, Eswatini and Mpumalanga, and as well as Mozambique included in the damage here. Do you have a sense at this moment of the scale of the devastation and damage?
Good evening and evening to all your viewers out there. Up to so far, because like you've indicated that this has never happened, that we see in just a part of a village, like where we took the president, 36 households being swept away. And when you look at the entire Mbaula village, 85 houses have been swept away, which affected more than 150 individuals. We can, for now, indicate to you that in terms of the infrastructure damage, we've been hard hit, especially on the roads, where more than 438 as of this afternoon, from the reports that we received after assessing roads that have been affected. So more than those have been damaged, and there are quite a number of bridges equally that have been swept away. We have seen areas like Phalaborwa where it's no longer accessible. For instance, the executive mayor of Mopani district who resides in Phalaborwa could not even, we can't even reach, or he can't leave Phalaborwa to attend to some of these areas because the bridges, all the bridges that access us to Phalaborwa has been swept away. If you look at some of our schools and of course some of our health facilities, and of course the human settlements that I've already indicated. So we are still currently trying to, because the main focus would be to try to preserve and save the lives like we have been doing in the Mbaula and part of the Vembe district. The second, while doing that, our municipalities are working with the provincial disaster management team to try to consolidate and continue to update us the reports, which will then be followed by the costing of the extent of the damage that we would have incurred. To answer your question, it would simply be saying, currently we can't tell you exactly or estimation, but for your own, you can just imagine if I'm talking about 438 roads that have been damaged. These are not the new roads that we were still to build. These are the roads that we had already built, we had already had. So indeed, it's a setback for us if you look at the project and the programs that we initiated as a province to address the backlog, especially on the road infrastructure.
Yeah. Premier, by Tuesday this week, your spokesperson had told us that the estimated assessed damage was in excess or at least around 100 million rand. 50 schools had been damaged so severely that some of them will not open, and the learners there will be temporarily relocated to temporary structures while those schools are being, of course, refurbished and fixed up. Can you give us a sense of what the scale monetarily is that has been assessed so far?
This is what I'm trying to say to you. The spokesperson was correct because on Tuesday, we had not yet received the damages that happened. 24 hours later, after your interview with him, that is when we saw a village within a second, houses being swept away. And then it even becomes even much more difficult to estimate. 100 million will be just a tip in the iceberg, looking at only the schools. But if you look at the kilometer radius that have been damaged. We are not looking at anything less than R1 billion in terms of the roads and the bridges that have been swept away. We're not looking at that. When you look at what our farmers in the agricultural sector, the damages that has happened in their different farms, we are not looking at something less than 200 million. When you look at the libraries that we just received in the past 24 hours that have been damaged, we can go on and on. Hence, we are saying our teams are currently on the ground. And the point that I'm trying to show you here is that up until the rain has completely subsided or stopped, we are not going to be able to tell you or quantify to say exactly how much will be needed. We will continue to update as it continues. And the prediction, the weather predictions, we had a meeting with the weather services, a team we in part of our disaster meeting, and they are very clear that up until Sunday, we must expect the worst.
Yeah. Premier, let's talk about the tools at your disposal in order to respond to this. You've engaged with the disaster management teams over the last couple of days and disaster management services, in particular, both at a provincial and a national level. Have you applied your mind to the scale of the damage in order to apply for a state of disaster to be declared in the province? Do you have enough data for that assessment?
We have already done that. We've already started. And I'm saying we continuously update our reports on a daily basis to the National Disaster Forum. And we, like today at 12 o'clock, we submitted another report, an updated one. We will continue to do so. As a province, we need to be honest and be clear that it will become very difficult because even currently in terms of the rescue mission, we had engaged the Minister of Defense, and as you have seen what has been happening, they responded quickly, and you have seen that the Air Force, also military, and the Defense Department in general has been very assisting our South African police services in the province with resources such as airlifting those who are stranded, and also equally our Limpopo emergency medical services within the Department of Health, where we do have our two choppers that we have been using to assist and support as the collective and the team.
Yeah.
That will not be enough. And the biggest challenge, of course, will be when it comes to the rebuilding of Limpopo. That is where we will require the assistance of the entire, not just provincial government, but of course, national government will have to come in. We are waiting for the national government to declare disaster. We've made submissions, like I'm saying, we'll continue to update the reports.
Premier, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Dr. Phophi Ramathuba is the Premier of the Limpopo Province.